What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today we are on the test server here, and we will be testing one of the brand new epics in the game, Ghomm Yellowhand. He's a void epic from the Skinwalker faction, and he's currently being offered up on the Titus fusion. So if you guys aren't able to get Titus, you guys can hopefully get one of these copies of Ghomm Yellowhand that's part of the fusion right now. So he is a Void Affinity epic champion, and I think he's actually really solid. After looking at his kit a little bit more closely, his kit for an epic looks really good. He has decent base speed, stats not particularly insane or anything. He is a support champion with attack, which is not ideal. But hey, he is Void Affinity, which is very important for his kit. So let's check out his kit here real quick. His A1 brings a double hit, brings a 50% chance to land Leech, as well as a 50% chance to land heal reduction. Now, the best places for Leech usually is against bosses, and the best places for heal reduction usually is against Fire Knight or against Amius. A double hit will be good in that encounter versus Fire Knight. So you could use Yellowhand versus the Fire Knight. You could use the Leech against Clan Boss, or Amius actually works as well. Keep in mind that both of these are not 100% lands, and it's not double hit Leech. It's not double hit heal reduction. It's single hit Leech and then single hit heal reduction. So the odds of landing each of them is not particularly high. It's only 50%. But the odds of landing one of them on a single A1 is 75%. So if you don't mind which one lands, it's 75% chance to land one of them when fully booked out. But this gives some additional value to Masteries, so we'll talk about that in a second here. His A2 brings a 3-turn cooldown, increased speed, and continuous heal for your whole team, which is not particularly exciting, but not too bad. Increased speed is going to be good in a Fire Knight, Chimera, Hydra, a lot of areas where increased speed can be pretty decent, just general waves. So not too bad. 3-turn cooldown makes it very reasonable. And then we got an A3 here. Now the A3 is probably his best move. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, and it's got an AoE attack. He's Void Affinity, so that's very important for this attack. It decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 15%, so it requires accuracy, of course. Same thing with his A1. And then it has a 50% chance, books up to 75% chance of placing stun on all enemies for 1 turn. Now, like I said, with his Void Affinity means he won't weak hit, which means he won't miss those stuns due to affinity issues. Now, when fully booked up, he's only 75% chance to land a stun, unfortunately. You could increase it to 80% if you went with fearsome presence for the Masteries. But we'll talk about that in a second. But this is a great move. We have legendaries with better versions of this. Obviously, 100% chance to stun on 3-turn cooldown, as well as other abilities. But yeah, he is Void Affinity, which really helps his case here for having a good A3. And then his passive here, whenever an ally is attacked, fill this champion turn meter by 5% once per attacked ally. So this doesn't say per turn, and this doesn't say any restriction per round or limited by turns. So it's potentially can be very strong. If, say, your entire team's getting hit by AoEs multiple times, he's getting turn meter along the way. So I think this champion really can help a lot of players as they're progressing through the game. For Skinwalkers is a really strong faction. And they recently actually had a fusion epic that was really good as well. Also Void Affinity was Yuzen the Maroon. This guy was more of a support healer. And then he brings a cleanse, which is really good. Not an insane cleanse or anything like that, but it's a good cleanse for an epic. So this is kind of where I'm seeing Ghomm Yellowhand fit in as well. He's going to be a good void epic for this faction if you need the help in progression. I'll showcase him in a couple of areas, and I'll show you guys how you guys want to build him out and use him. All right, guys, let's first take him into Doom Tower here and just test out his passive. Like I said, I was thinking his passive is actually very strong. It doesn't have any kind of internal cooldown or anything like that, so it just kind of occurs. Let's see it in action here against this wave. We're on wave 1, and we just have a bunch of tanky champions here that do no damage. So we're going to let them hit us, and then we're going to pay closer attention to Ghomm's turn meter boost. Okay, guys? So let's set it up here. Everybody's going to waste their turn. We're going to slow it down. So we got 1 turn meter boost there from 1 attack on a single target. Another turn meter boost there as well. What we're most interested in is seeing the AoE turn meter boost. All right. So let's watch him in action here. And we got 5 turn meter boost. All right. Did you guys see that 5 turn meter boost? And we got turn meter boost again. Let's see what else. Let's see what else is happening here. And then let's see. Okay, let's set this up. Another turn meter boost. So you guys can clearly tell that there is no kind of cooldown. So whenever your team gets hit, he's going to get boosted up. So if you put him on a tankier team, he's going to get a lot of extra turn meter boost here. And like I said, if it's an AoE attack on your whole team, he's going to get all that turn meter boost, 5% each hit. So 5%, so 25%, which is really actually really solid. Really solid. A nice little boost in his whole kit. That's how it works. Guys, let's bring Ghomm into some areas where you guys can use him for progress. I think he's going to be an absolute stud in all areas where there's any kind of wave-based content, so Doom Tower, any kind of dungeons and stuff like that. So we're going to bring him into Dragon and just see how he does here. We have a pretty Dragon-catered team here. We got Venom Mage for the poisons to kill the dragon. We also have Rogard here for max HP against the dragon. He's also good affinity. We have Fat Man here just for ally attack. He also brings poison, HP burn, decreased defense against the boss. And then we have Stag Knight here just to help soften up the weight. It's not ideal. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect team. I don't want to simulate a perfect team for you guys just progressing through the game. You guys will see that they are +3 and +4, but their stats are not crazily overwhelming. I'll show you guys the stats on everybody after the run, but you guys can see how this guy works. Ghomm with the plus speed, continuous heals, very solid at keeping your whole team alive, so you don't necessarily need like crazy support or healing. And then the stuns, guys, the stuns are amazing. The stun and push meter is absolutely amazing on this guy. See these guys, they're not even getting a turn and we're basically just chewing them up. We don't really have like a crazy AoE damage dealer either. Like we have a Rogard and he's not really a crazy AoE damage dealer. But yeah, it works really, really well. There we go. Stun again with the turn meter pushback. Very, very solid. This is on level 24 on normal difficulty, so it's nothing crazy or anything like that. But it's very, very solid. You see the turn meter boost there from that attack. So an AoE attack gave him huge turn meter boost. So he gets his turn back right away. And then the stuns again. We are basically super, super safe. Super, super safe here. He also brings continuous heals. So even though we do get touched, we're going to get back our full health pretty quickly. So against the boss, a little bit less impactful for him. Increased speed is going to be very good. A bit of leech on the A1 is going to be very good as well, but the stun's not going to be doing anything, and the turn meter pushback is not going to do anything as well. Random synergy here is that his heal reduction actually helps Venom Mage's her passive as well. So just a little bit of random synergy, but not super, super crazy. And then you can kind of see our team here doing their thing. The plus speed, very, very nice. And of course, the continuous heals, very nice as well from Ghomm. Keeping everybody alive. We have no regen, no healing on the whole team otherwise. So really nice to have that continuous heals. And there we go. Chopping through this dragon fight pretty quickly, actually. Less than 2 minutes on level 24. There you go. And like I said, I'll show you guys the stats on these guys in a bit. Now, for a champion like this, for Ghomm, you don't really need to empower him or anything. You just take one copy and he can be very good. Obviously, empowering him will give him a bit more stats, makes him a little bit easier to build, but still not necessary. The other dungeon where I can see him being very, very solid is actually Fire Knight. So we'll bring him in here as well. We'll do stage 25 this time just to help out some of the rest of the team in terms of affinity. I like to do 24 for most of the normal dungeons, but 25 is still pretty good for like CVC points. Otherwise, I would do 24 usually, but because 24 is force affinity, it's not going to be the best for this team. I wanted to keep most of the team similar to what I was using against the dragon team. But this case, we are adding Allure, and Allure is obviously very, very special versus the Fire Knight. She's going to be very good. What makes her even better is increased speed, which Ghomm provides here. And we're going to be doing much of the same thing here. Allure also brings the small decreased defense, which Stagnite was doing. Stagnite would be really good against the Fire Knight as well with the decreased speed, but we do have decreased speed here from the roll guards. So not totally necessary, and we're just going to be working through the waves here as we did against the dragon with a bunch of epics. They are geared okay, but they're basically geared to handle this content, not to overpower this content. So you can kind of see here, it's not totally destroying the waves, but we're doing really good. They're not really getting a turn against us, which is exactly what you want from a support champion like Ghomm. So really, really solid. Really nice to see. There we go. AoE stun, man, with the turn meter pushback. So nice. It's not 100%, guys, but when you guys check out his build, it's we made it work. We made it work really, really well. And I'll show you guys exactly what we're doing here after this run. So like I said, any wave-based content is going to be pretty good. And, you know, even Doom Tower, any Doom Tower, he can be really good. It just depends what you have. And he gives you a really solid option. He's a Void Affinity champion as well. So no weak hits based on affinity. That's really, really nice to have. You can just slot him into any kind of level. Don't have to worry about affinity. Now, his base stats are not super great, 17k base HP, so he's a little bit squishy, so you do have to build him up a little bit so he survives. But the fact that he doesn't really get hit too much, and he has a lot of control in his kit, means that the HP is not that big of a deal. There's increased speed, that's awesome. He also has a double hit on the A1 as well, which helps against the Fire Knight in these ally attack situations. Leech and Heal Reduction landed. Heal Reduction is very good against Fire Knight, just in case the Fire Knight breaks loose and gets a turn. Against this squad, there's no way that he gets a turn. The turn meter pushback's also very good against normal Fire Knight. So if you guys need him to help you in normal Fire Knight, the pushback is useful here. Fire Knight's one of the bosses that you can push back to turn meter in normal mode, not hard mode, of course. And then you have Allure here, who's incredibly good against the Fire Knight. So you see the Fire Knight, no chance of getting a turn. And our roll guard's going to finish him off with the max HP hits here pretty soon. So turn meter pushback again, and big slam takedown, and that's going to be it for Fire Knight. 2 minutes and 30 seconds on 25. Very smooth, very safe. No way of getting killed with this team. All right, let's check out the build here. Like I said, any kind of wave-based content would be fine. He also would work in some boss content, but not ideal because obviously his stuns don't work against bosses. But you could use his leech and increase speed in a pinch. So I'll show you guys the champions I was using here. So I was using this Allure. I try to aim for about 250 speed on most of my champions and about 300 accuracy on them. That's about it. Nothing too crazy. This Allure has Giant Slayer, standard Allure. Here is my roll guard I was using. A little bit slower, 210 speed, 268 crit damage. Accuracy, I mean, you don't need this crazy accuracy. 250 accuracy for normal dungeons is perfectly fine. Not crit cap, but we have Fat Man, so he was crit cap most of the time anyways. I had to take off some gear to lower his stats, but nothing too crazy on him. We have Cruelty and then War Master against the bosses. Here's our Fat Man, partially geared as well. 260 speed. Accuracy is not that important. Just enough to land his decreased defense and poisons and HP burns. Again, 250 accuracy is perfectly fine. Phantom Touch, War Master on him. And then we have our Venom Mage, again, partially geared. No regen sets or anything like that. Everybody's surviving off the continuous heals. 220 speed. It's got enough accuracy to land stuff. Not enough resistance to resist stuff, but enough accuracy to land the poisons and all that. Nothing crazy. Phantom Touch, no Masteries. All these champions are fully booked. Epics, you know, books come a little bit easier, and all these epics gain a lot of value from their books. This is the Stagnite we were using. Not even a full shield set, broken shield set. 260 speed with 300 accuracy. Nothing crazy here, right? No relics, no Cruelty, War Master at the end. And then finally, we have our Ghomm here. So this is the Ghomm we were using. Nothing too crazy. This kind of a build I would expect most people to be able to field just progressing through the game. I tried to keep the stats a little bit more reasonable. 270 speed with 346 accuracy. You don't need this much accuracy for normal content. 250 accuracy is perfectly fine. You want higher than 300 accuracy for the top levels of Doom Tower hard if you guys are at that level. What will be hard for people to do without my standard like classic arena bonuses and all that is the health total. So if you guys can get to like 50k HP, that's going to be plenty with these stats. And most of my gear is not fully leveled up, as you can clearly see. So I try to keep the stats more reasonable. Just a quick look at the gear. You want speed and accuracy. That's pretty much it. Speed and accuracy, some HP stats is nice. Defense is nice as well. And then I just threw in some pinpoint gear, assuming that you guys are farming your event dungeon. Get some accessories for additional speed. For relics, no relics here. Any relic would really help him out, but he doesn't really need one. No blessings here. If you had a blessing, you could take it. If you got a 5-star, you get some accuracy and resistance. That's going to be helpful for you. Probably take cruelty, which is one of the better support blessings. And of course, fully booked, he gains a lot of value, debuff chance. He gains cooldown reduction as well. So not too many books here, pretty standard amount of books, but he gains a lot of value. You could run him unbooked, but you definitely want to run him with books, I think, just to get the increased chance here on the stun, reduce cooldowns on his buffs, and reduce cooldown on his stuns. And then I think for the masteries here, this one is probably where you really want to pay attention to. The masteries for him, he'll really benefit from and really elevate his kit. So the biggest thing for me is that this champion brings buffs and debuffs. So what we wanted to do was basically go down to lasting gifts, get an extension on his buffs, which are really, really good. And then go down here to Master Hexer, which gets an extension on his leech and heal reduction debuffs. The other thing that was pretty important that I thought was to go down to the rapid response, which gives you a chance to increase his turn meter when a buff expires or removes. So he'll get a chance to get some turn meter when his buffs expire. And then also down here, down to Arcane Celerity, which also gives you a chance to increase turn meter when a debuff cast by this champion is removed or expired. So a debuff could be the stun debuff as well. Unfortunately, Master Hexer does not increase the chance of stuns. However, this is added here from Fearsome Presence. So adding Fearsome Presence gives you an extra 5% for the stuns, pushing it up from 75% to 80%. And I think this is really, really reasonable as a tier 6 to focus on, just to give him that extra 5%. I also went down to Harvest Despair, which gives you a 60% chance of placing Leech when he lands a stun. So this is really helpful for your entire team, gives a lot of healing back. And of course, this pairs really well with Master Hexer, so then you can extend the duration of your Leech as well. So Ghomm will be a massive, like, stun engine and then a heal engine for your entire team. Keep in mind that he has turn meter pushback as well, which is very, very good. Went down for Cycle of Magic, so you get more stuns, more buffs, and then more stats from Laura Steel. This one is kind of a dead mastery just because we had to extend down to response and celerity, so we had to kind of take this one. I took HP. You can take accuracy if you're short. In terms of defense, I took the extra healing, took the AoE protection here, and that's about it. I mean, the important one was the Fearsome Presence. If you're using him for clan boss or anything like that, you ideally want War Master, so you'll probably remove Fearsome Presence and the defense tree and then go down War Master in the offense tree. But I think as a pure support, defense and support down to Fearsome Presence, really, really solid, really elevates his kit. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this showcase on Ghomm Yellowhand. Hopefully I showed it a showcase for you guys that's more accessible and shows it as a progressing player would be using Ghomm Yellowhand. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this. Are you guys planning to hold on to a copy of him? Are you guys going to be able to finish Titus? If you guys are able to finish Titus, definitely finish Titus and then save Ghomm Yellowhand for a shard pull in the future. He's not critical, but I think he is a solid champion if you guys were not able to get Titus. So just make sure you guys finish the fusion legendary first before you guys considered the epics. Anyways, folks, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Appreciate your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video.